Welcome to AstroEnergy with Astrologer Angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the AstroEnergy show for Tuesday, May 30th, 2017. My name is Shelley Overton, and I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. And it's good that you're here. It's good to be here. It's a hot and humid day here in Orlando, and I am just trying to figure out ways of staying cool, honestly. It's 82 degrees and 11 a.m., so it's going to go up to 92 today, and it says that we're going to get rain. Actually, on the weather widget on my computer, it's got every day this week is supposed to rain. So we'll see if that happens. But it's going to be, it says it's going to be 100 in Phoenix and 102 and 103 this weekend in Phoenix. So I shouldn't complain, right? I'm not really complaining. I really had some beautiful weather in the spring this year, and so I'm very excited about having that weather. And anyway, la 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 la. So how you been? How was your Memorial Day? I hope it went okay. I hope you got to spend time with family and pay your due respects to family members that the day was created for. So today we're going to go over Mars in Cancer, and that's kind of a, it's not just Mars in Cancer, it's kind of what Mars is going to be doing for the next month, and then also all the planets. So if you want to get a reading, please do call in. The number is 347-994-3365, and I'll give you a reading today. So today we have Moon in Leo at 15 degrees currently, which means he is moving into a square with Mercury within a couple minutes, probably, actually I'd say about 1 o'clock Eastern. That's just a guesstimate. I have to tell you, after years and years of doing astrology and kind of getting a feel for the time it takes the planets to shift and move in position, you kind of can feel for how long it's going to take. And 2 degrees, so just so you know, the moon, of course, moves 28 days it moves 30 degrees, so it's roughly a degree a day. Mercury also is around a degree a day. Actually, I take it back. The moon goes faster than a degree a day. It goes a sign every 2.5 days. So I was confusing and I apologize. It goes all the way around the zodiac in 28 days. So it's about 2.5 days per sign. So today is Tuesday the 30th, which means that Mercury and the moon square at 2:47 p.m. So it's a couple hours off. So 3 o'clock today they will be exactly square. And so what does that mean? My favorite question. Moon in Leo is about attention and ego and getting needs met. And really the needs a Leo has is to be able to connect to other people. And they like to be the person in authority. It is the sign of the lion. So if you think about the lion being the head of the pride, but all the little cubs jumping on him, and he's a very warm family energy, but he also wants to be the one that oversees everything and is the one in charge, but also is the protector. So you have that kind of energy. So moon is feminine, nurturing, so it is about children, because also Leo rules children. And so the moon in Leo is about children today and about creative energy and about being in charge of a situation or an event. And it can be a generous sign. A generosity energy is also here today, and generous with family. And then the square to Mercury in Taurus. Mercury in Taurus is the little, voice in your head saying, but you got to get back to work. What about the work? What about everything that's going to happen? Are you safe? Are you secure? Do you have the money you need to pay your bills? What's going on with that? And the two are at odds. Okay, so Mercury is the thought in Taurus, the earth energy, the thinker that takes a while. So Taurus likes to cogitate and ruminate and also see the tangible results of something, and especially of growth. So it is this energy that wants to take its time and toil in the earth and think about things and see what grows, see what happens. And Leo is a fire sign, so of course he wants to get going with things. So the moon is about nurturing as well, but it's about getting going as opposed to laying low and seeing what develops. That's where they're really at odds with each other. So your thoughts want to take time, or you may want to take time with your thoughts, and probably your family is wanting you to get going with something or asking you for something. You may have a child going, I want to go out and get a new item of clothing, and you're saying, no, we're not really ready to spend the money on that right now. Okay, North Node in Leo at 27 degrees. So 27 is a late degree, and the North Node, again, is the energy. It's a point in the sky that signifies the crossing of the sun and the moon in their, from our perspective, in the orb. So, or when we go around and then we see it, those are 2 points in the sky. It's the South Node of Fate and the North Node of Fate. And so it's a node of the moon, which means it's associated with the moon and the path of the moon. And the South Node brings in energy from the past. It's what we're familiar with. And the North Node is how we transmute what we're familiar with and go towards what we're not familiar with, which may be uncomfortable and end up manifesting our fortune in this life. That's one of the points where you will gain more fortune in your life. So today with the North Node in Leo, late degrees, it's going backwards. So that means it'll be going through Leo in retrograde. It's the end degrees of a Leo energy, so it probably is going to make Leo energy by tomorrow when the moon gets right on that degree, much more about children, and even more than it is now, and wrapping up the energy around the story of love or romance or children. There's something that connects us to that energy, the creative energy, and it is a shift that actually becomes a fortunate event for us. So we shift out of one idea, and then the moon moves into Mercury. That's my mind working because Virgo, it's going into Virgo. The symbol of Virgo is a little M, and it looks like an M and a P together. And of course, the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. So my mind immediately translated the sign of Virgo into the ruler of Virgo. Anyway, no, the moon goes into Virgo. And then it will be the Mercury energy. So tomorrow we'll have a little bit more cooperation, being that the moon will be in an earth sign and Mercury will also still be in Taurus. And so we're going to have some stronger earth energy. And then also the moon will be in trine in a couple days to Pluto, which will also trine to Mercury. So we're going to have this trine going on in Earth, which means that things can cool down. So Mercury trines on Wednesday at 8:03 a.m. And the moon trines to, let's see, where is it? It trines Venus too. Hey, cool. What? Oh, no, I don't see it. Anyway, I was trying to look it up really quickly, but I don't see it. Yeah. So anyway, we've got a trine coming up of the moon to Mercury as well, and that will also create a little bit cooler weather or more attention to what's going on with the earth, food, growing things, nurturing children also. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, but the Virgo energy is also an energy of children. And if you use Leo as the first house, then that puts Virgo in the second, and it's actually the nurturing and growth like the second house would do, and grow things of children. So Virgo can be very good at nurturing the mind because of the Mercury rulership. So it's, education. It's creating more ability to understand things and really helping others to understand. So we'll see that in a couple days. And then we have Jupiter in Libra, which of course goes direct on the 9th of June. Again, within an hour of the moon being full in Sag. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and the full moon with with Sagittarius means that the energy is going to be pretty extreme. Not going to kid. Sagittarius is a sign of extremes. Jupiter can be a sign of extremes. And the extreme quality is there is going forward on one hand and pulling back on another, or a separation from two different ideas going in both directions. So think of Gemini, where it's dualistic, but Sagittarius also has a bit of that energy, but it's in physical terms. So that means we're probably going to see some acting out. The fire sign is going to be more warlike stuff going on. Of course, today we just had Mars oppose Saturn yesterday, and so we're still kind of feeling it. Mars is at 26 Gemini, and Saturn's at 25 Gemini retrograde. And so we had the energy of taking action, and again, dualism with Sagittarius Saturn in retrograde, which is a little bit more about having the stability or getting something done that is in a physical way, like taking action, but having to own the fallout from it. Witness Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was, I guess, arrested on suspicion of drunken driving, and that is absolutely the energy of Mars opposite Sagittarius, because it is, we already know that he has a bit of an issue with, I guess it's sexaholism, or I can't remember, there's probably another name for it. But I would also guess he's probably got some bipolar in there, and that would probably incline him to self-medicate if he hasn't gotten help for it. And I'm not a doctor. I probably shouldn't even say that, but he is a public figure, and I am trying to teach the nuances of these signs. So Sagittarius rules athleticism, and so you could say that that is an athlete, and Mars is taking action in opposition to the authority yesterday. And Gemini can be very mercurial, obviously, because it's ruled by Mercury. So you end up getting different, like you could do something and then 2 minutes later want to do something else and be completely committed to both. And then Sagittarius, or even thinking, Mercury would be the thinking, Mars would be the action, Sagittarius Saturn would be also the action. And then Saturn, of course, is going to restrict. So you see that energy. It is coming into society on a global scale, and so that means we're seeing it, with countries as well, because Sagittarius rules foreign soil and foreign energy. It, in my opinion, is going to be absolutely getting more intense with North Korea. At the same time, Mars is going to be going into Cancer, and on July 2nd, I just looked this up yesterday for a client. And so Mars will be going into Cancer, which means home and homeland and security and taking action. And then it will be in conjunct to the Saturn energy, but also in opposition to Pluto coming up on July 2nd. It will be opposite Pluto. And Pluto is major change in the Earth, and I would probably guess that that's going to create events of the Earth, meaning earthquakes, volcanoes, that kind of thing, because Mars, of course, is fire. But there's fire and water, and it will be fire in Cancer, so Mars in Cancer, and that means under the water, which could mean there are undersea events that could create water events like tsunamis. But then it's opposite Pluto, so again, there's the Earth energy, and Pluto is major changes. And so I do look for some very strong Earth shifts coming up around July 2nd. And then as far as the military energy, that is going to be a very significant day as well. And of course, because Mars will be within degrees of the Sun, coming into alignment with our solar return as a country, July 4th, it definitely means that there's something going that's going to change ideology and change physical structures, but also, so it's how we think. So if you think of Pluto is the psychologist, and Capricorn is the physical, tangible world. So it's the combining of that. So the ideas change, the psychology changes, and then we see the physical change right on the tail of that. And so having that opposite Mars is going to be significant because Mars in Cancer wants to take action around emotions. And that means that instead of being reasonable, say with an earth sign, Mars in an earth sign, down to earth, grounded, it's going to be in a water sign, which means it's going to happen around our emotions and around our need to defend the homeland. So I'm guessing and predicting that we're going to probably be in a situation that we have to defend, quote unquote, the homeland around 4th of July. And because of that close proximity to the sun and Cancer in our natal chart as a country, it's going to be significant as a country, probably coming to a head and getting the opinion, which probably also means that there's going to be an acting out towards Americans or on American soil or American interests. And we're going to have a moment of, either backing down or going forward or changing how we look at things. July 2nd, again, is about a month after Jupiter goes direct in Libra, so we are still going to have Jupiter in Libra through till October. And that means that we're going to have a certain amount of diplomacy that wants to happen. And then, of course, as Mars gets opposite Pluto, it will also just before square Jupiter. So Mars squaring Jupiter in Cancer to Libra means there will be a breakdown of diplomacy and yet a desire for it on some level, but it is involving homeland. And also, as we see Mars go into Cancer, it's going to be more of an awareness of the people in this country. So it is the homeland. It's going to be more caring for the people here and not as much foreign soil, which, of course, Mars in Gemini is about travel and distance, in opposition to Saturn and Sag is also foreign soil. Pluto in Capricorn is the structure, internal structures in America, and then Mars joining up with Sun is going to be much more wanting to have us take care of our own, in quotes, that it's going to be about us. And Jupiter in Libra, also direct, wants to wrap up the story around helping others, but because it's Jupiter, it's going to be about being in its own energy and needing and having its needs taken care of. So in the sense of America, or the sense of what's going on, socially, or in that kind of realm in the country, it means that we're starting to, like the whole idea that Trump has said about America first, that is also going to be part of that same kind of idea. It's like we've been helping others for so long, now it's time to help ourselves. And with Mars in Cancer, and we are a Cancer country, that's what we're going to be focusing on. So we'll see how that develops, but it's going to be more about local and American, for America, in whatever country you're in, it'll be about your country, but I'm not sure, of course, the rulership of yours. And as I've said, I assign Capricorn to England. So there could be something also going on in England associated with homeland come around the beginning of July. So let's see, Pluto and Capricorn, we've talked about that, still there. He's retrograde right now, going back over the old ways of thinking, again, reliving fears of the past. Let's see, so Capricorn and Taurus, so we're in the Taurus section, so this also relates to shifts and changes in the markets, having Pluto in the middle decan of that sign. It is the Taurus decan of the sign, so Pluto, it's fears, financial fears, so those could come up also as Mars comes into opposition. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. June and July are very rocking and rolling. Matter of fact, I would say as an astrologer, the rest of the year is very much, every day in the news is going to be something new and something powerful. So we've got Neptune in Pisces, kind of wanting just to chill, honestly. And, of course, it's in the Cancer decan, which, again, Cancer decan. Oh, no, I take it back. No, it is. I take it back twice. The first 10 degrees are Pisces, the next 10 degrees are Cancer, and the last 10 degrees are Scorpio. So at 14 degrees, Neptune is in the Cancer decan, and so it's also about home and deep sentimentality about home. Right now, Neptune is within 60 degrees of Mercury, so there's a sextile going on with communicating. And because Neptune is water and it's in association with Mercury and Taurus, it's about growing things and adding something that will nurture something to grow from an emotional standpoint. So it may also, I'm not going to kid you, when it's in aspect to Mercury or Sun or Moon, you can be a little bit tired. I mean, Neptune in Pisces is like the time of exhaustion, just because it rules sleep and it rules dreams, and it does kind of overlay that feeling that you never get enough sleep. And so you utilize it to your best advantage, which means pay attention to what's going on in your dreams, and that will guide you. So we have 23 degrees Venus in Aries, and Venus, of course, the feminine, Aries is the masculine, and she is just past a square to Pluto, but she's coming up on Uranus, which means that there's really strong energy around her masculine drive, her sex drive, and acting out on her own behalf. That is Uranus. Uranus wants to be the one telling it like it is, or not even that, which is probably more Sagittarius, but being the one who knows the information, because Uranus is the curious sign, or the curious planet. In Aries, it is driven to sell and be in sales and do it via the internet, because it has to have an electrical outlet. It has a very high energy of electricity running through it, which means that anyone with a strong Uranus in their chart, which I would tend to say is anybody, because Uranus is a very powerful planet, Uranus in Aries is wanting to act impulsively and on its own behalf, because it's very autonomous. So it's going to be brash. It's going to say, this is what I want, and having Venus in next to it is also desire. So Uranus and Venus in Aries conjunct, this is about desire and connecting it to the masses, connecting it to your network of friends and your association with work. And it can also be an independence of finances from work, and really going out on your own, striking out on your own. In this chart that I did it for 10:30. It was at midheaven here in Orlando. So that moment in time, if anybody was born at that moment in time, they're going to be a very strong salesperson and really do well on the internet. So if you're looking to maybe start an online venture, and really amazingly, interestingly, I've been watching YouTube videos about starting internet ventures, and that's completely related to Venus-Uranus conjunct in Aries. So then Venus will be going into Taurus in a few days also, because Venus is a fairly fast-moving planet. I'm just looking up, see if I can eyeball when she does that. Venus, Venus, Venus. Well, Mars goes into Cancer on Sunday the 4th, and Venus goes into Taurus on Tuesday the 6th. So, and Mercury also enters Gemini that day. So that's going to be another interesting day, just because Venus and Mercury will be shifting signs, Taurus and Gemini. But we'll talk about that next week. Got to have something to talk about coming up. So anyway, I'm going to take a quick break here. Oh, and Sun is in Gemini, so I'm just going to round it off with Sun and Gemini. Sun and Gemini, of course, is ego associated with what words have to be said and what thoughts and informations there are to impart. So with Sun in Gemini, and we have a trine to Jupiter retrograde, there are going to be some words about, hey, isn't this a great relationship? Don't you want to stay in this? Yeah, oh no, next minute it'll be like, yeah, I really want to get out of this. I can't take it. I don't like you. You're not giving me what I need. It can be a little bit hot and cold, but it is about the words that are said. Listen to the words that are said, and don't just ignore them, because you need to pay attention. But also, I'm a strong believer in actions speak louder than words, and right now Mars is in Gemini as well. So we've got a bit of dual energy coming both from words and from action. So I'm going to take a quick break, then I'm going to take our calls, and we have a good amount of time to take your calls so I can really get into depth if you want to have a reading today. So anyway, we'll be back in a couple minutes. In these days of stress, running around, responsibilities, we all need a little place to go to make it all better. Is that place sports, football, Or maybe you like to garden, paint, or just listen to music. Wherever your happy place is, you can find a shirt or mug to reflect that happy place. At myhappyplace.rocks, we have a variety of lifestyle products, including iPhone cases, pajamas, and pet items, all with beautiful, colorful designs, which help us go to our happy place. Stop by on the web for great gift ideas for others and yourself. myhappyplace.rocks. Lenny Pickett appears courtesy of Random Act Records. Check them out at randomactrecords.com. All right, welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Show on Blog Talk Radio. My name is Shelley Overton, and I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you would like a reading, please check out my website, astrologerangel.com, and there are a couple different ways to get a reading or to see what kind of readings I can do. There's a tab at the bottom that says Schedule Now. There's also one under the Readings tab. You just click on that and it'll give you a lot of alternatives there for readings as well. Once you choose one and go through the checkout, it'll give you an option to schedule one. And if not, if you can't get me any other way, just Shelley at Astrologer Angel, SHELLEY. I also wanted to mention that I just went on my myhappyplace.rocks website, and apparently there is a bad link, so I have to fix that. But other than that, keep checking back, and we'll try and get that fixed here in the next day. Okay, let's take some calls. I've got 202. Hi, 202. How are you?
Hey, doing well. How are you?
Good. Who is this?
This is Camilla.
I didn't understand you. I'm sorry. What's this? Did you spell that?
Hold on one sec. It's K-A-M like Mary.
I-L-A-H. Okay, great. And let me real quick get your birth information.
Sure.
I need a birth date, place, and time.
Can I give you the birth information for someone that I want to check out?
Yeah, just a second. Okay, so what's their name? First name is fine.
The first name is Mark.
Mark. Okay, and I'm gonna just put that along. It's just for so I can find it again if you call back another time. I can access it without having to do it all. So go ahead.
His birthday is July 18th.
Okay.
1979.
Okay, and what time?
It's I think around 1:30 a.m.
Okay. And where?
And this is in East Sussex, UK, or either Hastings is good too.
And what? I'm sorry. What else is good too?
Hastings, UK.
Okay, I'll try for East Sussex and see what it gets. Yeah, it didn't come up there. So you said Hastings?
Yeah, it's like around the same.
Okay. Okay, that came. That's all good. Okay,
Perfect.
What would you like to know?
Just a little bit about the personality and what's going on.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you a lot about the personality.
Oh, perfect.
Well, I'm an astrologer, so I have a lot of insight using this. So, okay, so Cancer, he's got a Cancer Sun and a Cancer Venus, and it's in the third house. So he's got a Gemini rising and Mars in Gemini, which means that he does have a need to be close to women and connect, and he's looking for a mother figure. And he probably also expresses that, and if he doesn't express it, he's looking for it so he can understand how to express it. So, the Sun in Cancer makes you much more sensitive to people's emotions, which makes you empathetic or empathic. And if he's not developed, which I can look further into that, but if he's not developed around understanding his own emotional needs or sensitive awareness, then he can be more fearful. That's kind of a hallmark of Cancer, is they tend to have a hard shell on the outside, and they're really soft in the middle, and so that's why they have a hard shell. And if they are really sensitive and can't and don't have that self-protection, they look for someone else who does have a stronger shell to protect them, because they feel really exposed emotionally. And Venus, Venus is the mother also in Cancer and women. So if it were just the sun in Cancer, I would say, he may or may not be a really emotional sensitive type, but having Venus in Cancer as well, he has a more feminine side of him, that enjoys being around the home and nurturing around the home. And then to put a punctuation on it, he also has Jupiter and Mercury in Leo conjunct, so they act as one, and that's about children as well. Leo is a sign of children. And so he does have a very sensitive, loving, generous nature, but he can also have a very strong drive towards flirtation, and that's his Mars in Gemini. And he also has Moon in Taurus in the 12th house, which, again, it can be a sensitive energy and more of a feminine energy, especially in the 12th house, which is also a feminine ruler, which is Neptune rules the 12th. And so it's very feminine. It's a receptive energy, so it means it's emotional and sensitive in a more psychic way, intuitive way. He's very good with money, but he needs to have money. And if he isn't making money, then it's part of his life path to learn about it. And he has a wounding around money associated with mom. Okay? So I don't know if you know that.
Interesting.
Okay, so, and then he has Saturn in Virgo, and that's in his house of home and family. And so that means he really is so super connected to family that he feels that whatever wounding they had, he has to fix it. And that he is the kind of the altruistic son who will be there to be of service to the family. And family kind of is his work. Is he, let me see, I was going to say is he Italian, but he's not Italian, he's British. But there's a sense of duty to family for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's really honestly kind of like a career thing. North Node in Virgo is 1 degree off of his Saturn, so it's like a fated thing. Saturn is karma and North Node is fate, and you've got them together. So they're very, it's part of his path that he came in this life. So he also has the South Node in Pisces, which again is that sensitivity, but it's up in the house of career. And so he has, I want to say the energy in his chart strikes me as being either an educator or like someone who is a priest in a past life or somebody who is religious. And that, he's very understanding of people, but he has a bit of difficult time breaking out on his own for his career. It is very much ingrained with family and the association with family. So, yep. Is there anything you want to know besides what I've told you?
Maybe transits.
Maybe what?
Transits.
Transits. Oh, okay. Let's see. For him, right? Not for you?
Yep.
Okay, so his transits are Jupiter in the 5th house, and it is coming up on his Pluto. And so there are major life changes coming around family and children. So it is a point where he feels like he's been nurturing for so long that he is looking out for his own personal needs when it comes to love right now. And so you've got to be very giving to be with this guy right now because he needs to take. He's been giving for most of his life, and he needs to be selfish right now. So I don't know if you feel that at all. But he just had Saturn transit over his Neptune in the last year, which also, it's in Sagittarius in the house of marriage. So it is about moving. I don't know if he moved or has a long distance. Well, I mean, I don't know where you're from, but obviously if he's from England and you live in America, that's pretty long distance. So he's looking, and I don't know how long you've been dating either, but with Saturn having gone through the House of Marriage and Partnership over Neptune, he was looking for someone who is of a different culture as a partner. And Mars right now is in Gemini, and I want to caution you that there may be some other person as well in his life. So
I did break up with him. So
you did break up? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's looking like definitely Saturn in the 8th house is having to own the commitment that, and Saturn in Sag is like, Saturn in Sagittarius wants to be free to move about, and that's part of the karmic life purpose that they have, because Saturn is life purpose. So even though it's a transit of Saturn, it's triggering those feelings within him to have to be on the move and to commit to maybe more of his career right now and in the house of commitment. So there is a career energy for the commitment. Maybe there's a partnership going on in his career that he's focused more on right now that could be the other person, quote unquote, getting in the way. And then Mars in the 2nd house, for him it's in Gemini. And Gemini's duality of love, because the 2nd house ruled by Taurus is about love. It's Venus. So right now it's triggering, and he always has Gemini in the 2nd house. So there's almost an unspoken drive naturally to have two people, like almost like I have this person who understands me and that person who understands me in a different way, and I need both because they don't necessarily understand you can have both in one person, so they have two different people. And it's kind of in his chart with Mars and Gemini. He just went through a Gemini or Mars return. So he's got Mars coming up on Cancer, and the Mars in Cancer, like I said, it's going to be more about home and family, and that it's like it's so difficult for this energy for people with a lot of Cancer and Leo in their chart, and even Taurus, to have Gemini, because Gemini doesn't stay put, but Cancer wants to have the security of a home and family. So
yeah, that was very hard to deal with for me, and you're totally right. Like, we broke up because he wanted to keep other women in his life, like female friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't see not having that in his life, and I couldn't see having that in my life, so I had to move forward. You're right about him being an educator. He's a teacher.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so you're very on point about him. And he does have the duality of being very nurturing and having that Taurus like energy, you know, that Taurus Cancer energy. But at the same time, that Gemini Mars, like, oof, they gotta go. They gotta keep
they gotta keep on the move. And then Neptune in Sagittarius in the House of Marriage and Partnership. This is someone who, like, I always think of Sagittarius as somebody who has a YouTube channel who travels the world. And I don't know if you watch YouTube at all, but there's a guy named Louis, and he travels everywhere. That's what he does for a living. He just travels, and that's what they need to do. Too. Yeah, it's just like be on the go, gotta go. And unless they meet someone who has the same drive to stay on the move, it's really difficult for them to just stay put. And you know, it's difficult for Cancer or for any water or earth signs, because they really are very ingrained in like family and where they live, and you know, they don't move very easily. Earth signs don't move very easily, but he just not long ago had Jupiter on his Saturn, which probably meant that was like a trigger to keep going. And then of course Jupiter coming up on his Pluto is going to also be like gotta go. And this is someone who has probably women in different cities, because that's the nature of his life. So,
dodged the bullet with that one. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. You want me to look at your chart?
Sure.
Okay, let's do a birthday for you.
And maybe under K. You've read me before under K.
Oh, have I? Okay, well, the same area code, because I sort by area. Are you, let me see for a second. Are you March 5th?
3580.
Yeah, oh, okay, so I had you down as K-A-Y. So I don't know if you go by K-A-Y, but that's the name I had associated. Philadelphia?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, because that's where I went when I saw the area code. I'm like, well, that's the only chart I have for that area code. So okay, what would you like to know?
I guess anything that really stands out to you. I mean, knowing about love is great, but career, I'm feeling something with career and like, I guess, what's the word? Like I'm entering, like I'm trying to get these scripts funded and entering different like contests and things like that, and I just feel something percolating with that.
It is. It is for you. So what's going on in career? I'll look at 2 different houses for that, maybe 3. Your career house is ruled by Libra, and right now, of course, Jupiter's up there, and it's within 8 degrees of being on your Pluto, and you have Pluto at exactly the same degree as your moon. So this is something that makes you feel nurtured. You have to be of service in helping others and integrate. You're a diplomat, but you're also, there could be an artistic connection to this as well, because Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus rules beauty. So there could be a beauty connection to what it is you want to do in your life, or something that's very pleasing. Jupiter, again, because right now it's going backwards in your house of career, you're having to go over the people that you've connected to for your career, and that was really the story of this retrograde, is like, what are you leaving? Where are you coming from? What's passing out of your life? And with the retrograde, you have to relive some of how you behaved before, which is, again, imbalance and doing for others more so than yourself. And Jupiter wants to focus on its own needs. So after the 9th, when it goes direct, it will be moving forward towards your Pluto, which is major life change and transition. And so for career, you're looking at a partner. That's what you want to do, but you're looking at a different type of partner, one who comes as an equal and not someone that you have to continually feed. And that's what you want. You want someone who you can commit to that nurtures you, as well as vice versa. And you can't ignore having your needs met in this partnership, or it won't work out. So that's paramount for you. And then going in the opposite, because Uranus also, like I've been saying for a long time, is about entrepreneurship and sales, online sales and things like that. And that's right on your Venus, which also rules goods of sale, of service, and, well, not service, sales goods, so products. It's in your house, home, and family, so that would tell me that there's something you could sell that you make out of the home, and could be a really great thing for the marketplace, and that would also give you some freedom. And so there might be somebody coming in. Is that something that's true for you?
Yeah, well, I do my creative work from my home, which is like editing, scripting, and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said scripts. So it's more of a writing thing. Okay, Saturn, which again is career, is right on your Neptune in the first house within 3 degrees. It's retrograde, and it's going to be coming right up on it. The degree it goes back to is 22, and that's where your Neptune is. So you're going to really feel this energy as a renovation of desire and what you want to do. And I'm guessing if you haven't already moved far away somewhere, you're going to. And you also have the Saturn in Virgo. So you're a teacher as well, and it's right near your Jupiter. So there's some kind of energy that is asking you to consider foreign markets, consider foreign places, and whatever you're doing, do it as a means of instructing people of other cultures, or bring that into it somehow. An expansion of spirituality or understanding of other cultures. And it's really super strong. You have North Node, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn all right up there in your 9th house. And that means that there's a creative energy, but it has to do with people of foreign cultures and all about service, education, or health. So if you can include any of those in what you do, and Neptune rules movies. So if you're writing scripts for movies, definitely having the energy, it's there. Saturn's asking you to do it, but it's also asking you to look to other markets in other countries to get it done.
Okay.
And maybe with a partner. Like, find other people who are interested, but maybe they don't do writing, they do filmmaking, and then you can coordinate with that. You know, like they're also cooperative to do that kind of thing. So it is only going to get stronger when Jupiter gets to the end degrees in September. It'll be wrapping up, like having to get the structure and the partner, and then it's going to be moving forward with like the psychology and the deeper understanding. And I would say if you're looking for another partner, probably Jupiter going at the end degrees of Libra and then into Scorpio. You're going to find someone in the work environment who's going to help you. And there's a likelihood they're going to be of a foreign culture, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be someone from there, but they are. You have Gemini in the House of Marriage and Partnership, so Mars is there right now. When it gets to Cancer and Jupiter gets to Scorpio, they will be, actually I don't think they're going to be there at the same time. Let me see. I think Mars will be close to Virgo or Leo by the time Jupiter gets there, so that will be October. Let me just real quick look up October and see where Mars is at in October.
Okay.
And meanwhile, listen to this music while I'm figuring this out. Let's see. Jupiter is in Scorpio. Oh, what? Hang on a second. Make sure I'm in the right year. 2017. Okay. So it goes in on the 10th, and Mars is in Virgo at 22. So that's directly squaring your Neptune when Jupiter goes in. So let me see what happens in the upcoming time. Yeah, so there's probably going to be some energy going on around a little bit of difficulty with a partner at that point. So if you are able to get a partner, which I don't know how you wouldn't when Jupiter goes over your Pluto moon, actually I would also consider, is your mother a potential partner for you?
No.
Or an elder woman who might be more of a mother type figure. There might be somebody who comes in on top of the fact you have Venus in the 4th house of home and family in Aries. Okay. So that's telling me that there's a really strong connection to a family member, someone who's nurturing. A mother type doesn't have to be mom, it could be a sister. But yeah, there's some more energy around a woman, or if it's not a family member, it's somebody who might be a little bit older who's more of nurturing and a mother to you. So you could consider that some more of a mentor, someone who's a mentor. Yeah, and then Venus goes into Libra right around the same time in October. So Venus and Libra actually will move into opposition to your natal Venus, and that says that there will be somebody coming in around that time too, if she's not already there. There's going to be, another female who could be a partner. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was great.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Well, you have a lovely week and hope to hear back from you. Good luck.
Yes, indeed. You too. Take care.
Okay. Thanks. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's go to 818. Hi, 818. How are you?
Shelley, hi. May I give you a new birth date? October 26th.
Okay. Is this someone else?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Sam. It's supposed to...
Sam.
I'm
I was
Diane.
just asking who... You're Diane. I was going to ask if it was Diane or a few people with your area code. I was going to suggest Diane. Okay, what's this person's first name?
Sam.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said that. Okay, and hang on one second. I'm just getting everything all squared away on my system of finding people. Okay, what date?
October 26, 1979 at 7:14 a.m. in LA, California.
Okay.
And my question, he's moving to the East Coast, and he's divorced now, and he wants to start fresh. And I'm wondering if there's any insight you can see with that, with him.
Is this the same one you've talked about before?
Never. But he's my son. So
he's what?
My
son.
son. It's my son.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So what insight would you like? What do you want me to look at?
He's moving to the East Coast. Do you think he'll permanently stay there, or do you think he might come back to California?
Well, there's always a potential he'll move again. Yeah, but right now Saturn just went past his Neptune in Sag, and it's going to be going to the end degrees of the second house, which means buying a house place far away. So he's in that cycle. I mean, that's where he's where he should be. As far as moving back, let me see. You said he's moving to the East Coast.
I mean, it's a selfish thing I'm asking, but you never know. It's not about me.
Yeah. Well, Saturn definitely can make changes. So he's moving from LA to the East Coast. Is that what you said?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. He's got a lot of energy in his chart on the East Coast, and you know
Could he marry back there? I mean, he wants a fresh start.
Yeah, actually, everything in his chart's kind of clustering around the East Coast. North and south. I mean, his chart, most of it. So the only things that are not on that half of the world for him, or the half of the U.S., is his Chiron and his South Node. But everything else, he's got Mars, Jupiter, North Node, Saturn, Pluto, Sun, Venus, Uranus, Mercury, Neptune, and Moon, all in the east half of his chart. So that was all really strong for him.
It's a better thing, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a much better fit for his psychology, and honestly, by the time Jupiter gets into Scorpio, he's going to be very happy to be there because he'll have very deep feelings for that coast, but also the people, and I think he'll feel more in alignment with who he is over there.
Outstanding. Yeah. What a great! Oh my God, I'm so happy I spoke to you this morning.
I mean, he hasn't even really culminated a lot of what he can do. There could be a change, but it's a ways down. Like if ultimately he might come back to take care of you, but that's a long ways away. Not until like the end of next decade.
The cost of living is so expensive here. And so that was one of the reasons that pushed him. So I find out from my other son that he says he says, well, unfortunately, the only way he says he'll come back is if I pass on my ex-husband because of a windfall he would have, and he would able to afford to live here. So I know I couldn't believe he said that, but it was honest and it was true.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we all go sometime. We all pass. I mean, there's nothing negative about it. We're born to die. But he was just commenting that it's, in other words, he has no desire to want to come back, is what it sounded like, and it's probably the right thing. Do you think that was a bad thing what I just said? Oh.
No, I think that you also have some shifts and changes that can affect you as well. You've got Jupiter going to the house of home and family, and that's probably part of what you're seeing, but Saturn's in your house of children, so right now the restriction is that your children are going away. And when Saturn moves into Capricorn for you, it's going to kind of change what you're doing around work. And that structure will shift. And, the next 2.5 years are going to be a big change for you. After December of this year, Saturn goes into Capricorn, and then not long after, in the beginning of next year, it goes into your house of work. And so that's going to be more about, it can be, like, just depending on where you're at in your life, it's definitely potential for some retirement if you want.
Right.
But
right.
Saturn coming up on Pluto is a very strong energy about major life shift around work and health. And so it's paying attention to your body and making sure that you're getting what you need out of the things that you put in it. And, it's much more about taking care of the physicality. And since it's your Chiron, like right now, Pluto's right on your Chiron in your house of health. So I don't know if you had any health issues, but there could be a few things. And if you do have health issues, I would say that those are directly related to your authority issues, like how you see yourself. Do you have authority over your own body? Do you have a say in your world?
I do. I'm super healthy, Shell. I'm super into physical and watching what I eat and drink. So thank you, God in heaven. I'm so physically fit right now.
Cool.
Nothing is
awesome.
And I'm into face stuff with the bananas and the turmeric. I do facials all the time.
I do that.
So
what do you make with bananas and turmeric?
Well, I with my banana, I mix it with tomato juice and aloe vera, and I make a paste, and I it's for wrinkles, and smoothing it, and I leave it on for 25 to 30 minutes. But with the turmeric, I mix it with a teaspoon of yogurt, a teaspoon of honey, and a teaspoon of turmeric, and I paste that on too for 30 minutes. And that's incredible. And then for moisture, I take a teaspoon of olive oil and a teaspoon of honey, and I warm it up for like 10 seconds, and I leave it on for 10 minutes. And and you massage it in for 10 minutes. And then one other last scrubber that I use every morning is coconut oil and baking soda, and I mix equal parts. And I rub it for 10 minutes. I'm into holistic everything.
Yeah, I just have been getting into that too. Seriously, I've got. You should see my kitchen table. It's got beeswax, and I was going to make my own breath mints and peppermint oil. I've got turmeric. I make a bentonite clay face mask with turmeric, coconut oil, and a few other things, and some essential oils for scent. And I put that on every week. I missed it this weekend. I got to put it on today when I can. But turmeric is really good for getting metals out of your skin too. Pardon me?
And apple cider vinegar. I mix
there's that in it too.
Apple cider vinegar with Fuller's Earth. Or you could just mix it with flour if you don't have Fuller's Earth. Apple cider and vinegar, and you make a paste. And oh my God, these things really make a difference. And they're so cheap. They're in our house.
I know. That's why I'm going to start making some products of my own for my website, because I'm really getting that same message to do the holistic things and use these natural items to do your own health things. So, I'm making my own candles out of soy wax. I'm doing everything. I'm like totally getting into the message that's coming in right now, which is, really get back to earth and do earth things. So good for you.
It's fun, isn't it, Shell? It's fun.
Yeah, it's
enjoyable. It's something I enjoy doing. That's why
I'm driven
to
do it right now. Yeah, it's very cool. But I have a cluster of planets in Virgo, and they're getting hit by that Pluto. Finally, Pluto's at 19. It just got off a trine to my sun, thankfully, because even though it's a trine, it's like, having Pluto on your natal Pluto and your Uranus and your Mercury, it's been tough.
Oh, no.
And now Neptune's kind of triggering them all, too. Anyway, well, it was lovely talking to you.
Thank you, Shelley, so much. It was the best call I had. Thank you. Love you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Well,
I'll talk to you
again
soon.
Now. Bye.
Yeah, awesome. No, it's good for him. Okay, take care. Bye, Diane. Okay, let's take 561 real quick. I'll answer a real quick question, 561. How are you? Hello? Stacy?
Hi, hello.
Natasha? Hello? Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of the show. I couldn't get a hold of them, and so we're going to end the show, and it's good to talk to you. Next week we'll be talking about this conjunction of the full moon, or the time for the full moon, and all sorts of things next week. So we'll talk to you then. Take care. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.